To the August 28th, 2025 school board meeting. Please join me for a moment of silence. Thank you. Join us for the pledge.
All the way to elementary school. Lonnie Hogan. So let's give them a hand for doing the.
Next, we have approval of the agenda. Have any changes or additions?
Move to approve.
I'll second.
We have a motion to approve in a second. Any other discussion? Vote, please. All ayes. Motion carries. Next, we have approval of the minutes from the previous meeting. We have the July 24th regular session and the 8/14 special session.
Separate.
Do it.
Yes. Motion to approve together.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the board minutes from July 24th and August 14th special session. Vote, please. All ayes. Motion carries. Next, we have public comment on actionable items. Thank you. Next on the agenda, we have requests to address the board, and Miss Jessica is in traffic and on her way, so I'm just going to move it to when she gets here. Next, we have recognitions.
Madam Chair, I would like to recognize the Community Foundation of Dickson County. So if they would come up, please. Mr. Jeremy Spencer is with us. Thank you, Jeremy, for being here.
Thank you.
First of all, I want to thank you, Dr. Sutherland, and thank you, members of the Dickson County Board of Education and the Board of Education staff for allowing us just a few minutes of your time in tonight's meeting. My name is Jeremy Spencer, and this is the second year in a row that I've come before you in my capacity as the president for the Community Foundation for Dickson County. We have several of our representatives, our board joining us here tonight also. They're back at the auxiliary table back there. And I'm sure that you will see many familiar faces that you no doubt have seen active in different roles within our community. My main impetus for being here tonight is to tell you about our latest grant allocations. Over the last month or so, we awarded $71,380 worth of grants to organizations within Dickson County, bringing our grand total to over $908,000. $908,935 to be exact. I think that this is tremendous. I think this is a tremendous number, and it really is exciting to think about all the projects and organizations that we have been able to help over our 25-year history. I sincerely hope that since I was here last year that you have told others about the Community Foundation for Dickson County and that you have told them about how much we support Dickson County schools. We have now given over $306,000 to Dickson County schools. This year alone, we granted $36,495. I realize and know that your budget is very large and that many of you deal with big numbers in your jobs. So I think sometimes those numbers and values can become sort of muddied. But I'd like you to just pause for just a second and think about those numbers that I shared. $306,000 for projects in our schools, projects that more than likely would not have happened without those kind of funds, of which $36,500 were given this year. This is the fruits of your community and the people that believe in and support our mission. This year, your teachers and principals and Board of Education employees got creative in this grant cycle, and we were able to fully fund several grants and to generously support others. And there are some truly amazing projects. I'd like to highlight just a couple of those for you. We bought a kiln for Dickson County High School Art Department. And we didn't buy just part of it, we bought the whole thing. This kiln is replacing a non-functional 30-year-old kiln in the art department of the high school. We granted $5,000 for books to be used for both a mobile library and to use with the book bus to get books into the hands of children in our community. We bought a greenhouse for Dickson Elementary School. They are going to get their hands in the dirt and grow things, which I think is really exciting. We were able to help introduce new curriculums for fractions and visual arts and for continuing the Leader in Me program at Oakmont Elementary. These are real, tangible, exciting projects that students will remember, and they will be talking about these projects, and I hope that you will be too. Education has always been one of the key components of our mission for the Community Foundation for Dickson County. We are now working from an endowment of over $1.4 million, and each year our board works to ensure that endowment grows, and in turn our grant funds grow. This is why we do it. This is why we volunteer our time. The more our endowment grows, the more we are able to award directly back into our community and into our schools. I've given each of you a list of this year's grant recipients, their award amounts, and a brief description of their projects. Please take the time to read through them and to see how these teachers and schools are going beyond what is expected. Talk to them about their projects. They are planning these projects based on what their students need to be successful, and they will be excited to talk to you and answer any questions about what they're doing. Some of these projects may even be a jumping off point for other classes or other schools with proven success to enrich our county in unimaginable ways. I hope that just knowing that there are $36,000 worth of new projects that are underway right now excites you. Tell your friends what the Community Foundation for Dickson County is doing for Dickson County schools. Talk about us. We want to continue our partnership with Dickson County schools, and we want the grants we are awarding to grow every single year. The only way that that can happen is with awareness and support. We are happy and excited to grant this money to our schools. So here's the ask for tonight. Just tell others about us and encourage them to support us. Add us to your local philanthropy. Encourage others to do the same. The more people know and understand who we are and the more we are supported, the more we can support you. What we do directly affects our community. The larger our endowment, the more money we get to give away. So seek us out and support us so we can support you. If you have any questions about the Community Foundation for Dickson County, please seek out myself or any of these board members, and we would be more than happy to talk to you. Thank you so much for your time and your participation with us and your partnership with us. Thank you for giving me this time tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
On behalf of the Dickson County School System, we appreciate the Community Foundation's partnership and generosity. Thank you so much.
Next, we have staff and school recognitions.
Madam Chair, members of the board, I would like to recognize 4 individuals. Yenny Gonzalez Ortiz. How did I do on that? Edward Elliott, Houston Potts, and Virginia Reed. Would you all come forward, please? And Miss Melissa Garden. Each of these individuals have successfully completed all training and have met all local, state, and federal requirements to become bus drivers. And so thank you all very much. And Miss Melissa, I'll let you handle that. Thank you so much. Thank you for being a part of the team.
We have student board representatives.
Our student board representatives will be meeting with us next month. So each of the schools are choosing the individuals that will serve in that capacity.
Next, we have staff report recommendations. Finance. Ms. Valerie.
He's in the back. He's here. It's not.
It's working.
Good evening. First thing you'll see are the June monthly financials. Revenues came in at 93.7 million. So that's greater than they were last year. Expenditures came in at 93 million, which are less than they were last year. But remember, we did have the $15 million transfer last year. Property taxes up, sales taxes up, utilities were up, diesel fuel and gasoline were both down compared to last year. The other reports you'll see are the summary financial statements and the summarized balance sheets for funds 141, 142, 143, and 177.
Questions? Monthly financial report for June.
Move to approve.
Second.
Have a motion to approve in a second for the monthly financial reports for all funds for June. Any other discussion?
Ms. Gardens, what's the price of the fuel?
Right now, last hour. Have any other questions? Vote, please.
Six eyes.
Motion carries. Next, we have the fourth quarter financial reports.
So this kind of goes hand in hand with those monthly financials. But revenues for 141 were nearly 5.3 million greater than our budgeted revenues. Total expenditures ended at about 6.3 million less than budgeted expenditures. So our fourth quarter report shows a net profit of 658,000. These are unaudited financials, so please keep that in mind, as there will be some adjustments that the auditor makes when she's here. Then we have the 142 fund, so these are federal grants, so you'll see money in and money out, the same amount, and a net balance of 0. And then for the 143, total revenues came in at 5.18 million, which is around 108,000 more than we budgeted. Total expenditures ended at about 5.57 million, so that's around 140,000 less than budgeted expenditures. So the total net loss was only 386,000 rather than the budgeted net loss of 636,000. And with the 177, there was nearly 7.7 million remaining, but that has now been allocated to the sports complex. So we do have a little bit that will be there just in case something happens.
Have any questions on the fourth quarter financial reports?
Would you just remind me where the anonymous gift, the 700,000 amount, which fund that's under and where that's located?
So we had pulled that out of fund balance, and it was in the 71,100 line items, and we used that we used the portion of that we allocated back into our budget. We used that for Chromebooks for
Not the technology part, but the additional
So
7.
that's just in our fund balance.
Just
It's in our reserves.
The 700 is in reserves.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever we decide how we're going to use that, that would be allocated back into the budget. Is that how?
Yes, we'd have to take it to county commission for approval.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Move to approve fourth quarter. All funds.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve fourth quarter financial report for all funds. Any other discussion? Vote, please. All ayes. Motion carries. Next, we have monthly financial reports for all funds July.
So you'll see that revenues look a bit skewed compared to this time last year, but just keep in mind that we received the 1.3 million for the bonus money that we haven't paid out just yet. So the county commission just approved that amendment last week, so we should pay those out in September. You'll also see that utilities are up around 100,000 compared to last year, and that's strictly electricity.
Move to approve July.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the monthly financial reports for all funds July. Any other discussion? Vote, please.
All ayes.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Just all the numbers, I mean, not used to seeing them all right there at 100, and just want to give you a little kudos on that. A lot of times we'd see them and they'd be, my questions would always arise when you see something at 120% or 130%, and it looks good to see them all to balance out like that. So,
There were those last minute amendments that we approved.
yeah, well, it looks good when we look at that fourth quarter and everything balances out at 100, at 99, at 98, and we know you did a good job on all
Well,
that.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to jump back up the agenda to 1F, the request to address the board. It's Jessica.
Good evening, members of the board. Forgive me for being late, and I greatly appreciate you seeing me. I had traffic getting out of Nashville. I do apologize. I'm a teacher uptown. My name is Jessica Lopez Otavro. I reside in Queens, and my son is a sixth grader at Burns Middle School. Let me first start by saying I love Burns Middle School. I had a wonderful experience at Burns, and this is not to try to be negative in any way. My concern is that on September 7th, something occurred. What? I don't exactly know. Hearsay, I can only see what I saw, unfortunately, on social media, which I don't like to rely on. I'm an educator of 20 years and a mother of 3 children. My concern was that we didn't hear anything about it formally as parents until 4:30 p.m. when we got our robocall from the administration at Burns Middle. At that point, the news was over 24 hours old at that point. Obviously, the posts have since been removed from social media, which I agree with. Yes, I took screenshots of them. And when they were concerning, the comments that were supposedly from parents were concerning to me as a parent and as an educator. If I didn't feel safe with my kid at Burns Middle, I wouldn't have him there. I do feel safe with my son at Burns Middle. My concern that I wanted to share publicly was how it was handled. Because we should be informed, in my opinion, as promptly as possible to ease any concerns we may have and with as much information as possible. I understand it was minors involved. I understand the legality of the situation. I understand that it's hearsay. I understand that it's a need to know basis, that at the end of the day, if my son is safe, that is all that matters. I understand all of that. However, knowing that something occurred, as serious or not as it may have been, the threat, to hear about it over a day later was not adequate, in my opinion. And I believe that as a school district, as a county, maybe we can do better than that for our parents and for our educators, because in 2025, none of these things can be taken lightly, unfortunately. It's the times we live in, and as a teacher myself, it's the times I work in as well on a daily basis. So I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for letting me speak and letting me speak late. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Maintenance.
So board members, very little on the agenda for us tonight, but just some surplus items I need to have approved. We'll piggyback off I think Ms. Garton's already got maybe some buses and vehicles approved previously, and we'll just piggyback off that same sale with her. You see a list of items there. Just need the board's approval to dispose of those at public auction.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion to approve in a second for surplus items as listed. Any other discussion? Vote, please. All ayes. Motion carries.
Madam Chairman, the next item's one you asked me to put on there was the emergency purchase that you and Dr. Sutherland approved for the air handler for the Commons at Creekwood.
Motion of acknowledgement.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to acknowledge the emergency purchase of the Creekwood High School HVAC unit.
I do have a question about the funding of this. How will this be handled? Is it going to be a part of your regular budget?
Absolutely.
Okay, I just didn't know if it was something that we would have to go to the county commission for.
That was on, it says that you've got it on there, Sourcewell or tips or whatever. So that was under that as well, but that'll come out of our regular maintenance line.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Vote, please. All ayes. Motion carries. Thank you. Next, we have DCHS Sport Facility Contract.
Start out with just kind of giving you an update. Project Stewart Burns Elementary School roof is nearly complete. On that particular one, we had no change orders, so that job worked very well. I think they're going to put finish the metal up on the trim this week, and we'll probably do a punch list next week. White Bluff Elementary School, it's on schedule. We do have some items that we're going to have to address there by change order. but we'll bring those back to you when we get numbers. High school is on schedule. Well, they have started the new wall around the high wall at the auditorium. And it's moving forward now. We met today at the athletic fields down here and got our total team together, and I think things are really going to start moving down there. They've done a lot of work already in 2 weeks. It's amazing. Now, really, what I'm here for is our contracts. First off, I request you all approve Toad Vine for the bleacher work, contingent upon the attorney's review of it and approval. This will be through Sourcewell. Of course, it'll be handled under our construction manager.
Mr. Hall had a chance to look at it.
I have not fully reviewed the Toad Vine contract yet, but it's the same structure that we use for the turf.
Mhm.
So we have to contract directly with the vendor, and the construction manager will still manage the project for us, but we're contracting directly with the bleacher vendor, Toad Vine in this case, just like we did with the field turf team. And
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I mean, I'll make sure it's exactly like we did with the turf contract.
You needing this tonight?
Approve it contingent upon his approval.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the contract contingent on Mr. Hall giving the thumbs up on it.
Second the motion, and I had one question.
Okay.
In the contract, it had marked out like the 77,000, but then in the other contract with a spreadsheet, it's still on it.
And we have the contract updated now with that
So,
out.
okay,
Yeah, but the 77,000 was for the visitor side, new seats. We wanted to have it all in there, but to have any contingency in this project, we had to pull that out. And the contingency money is left at the end of the.
so then
we'll
we
add
would spend
back.
it there. Okay,
Right. And the reason it was pulled out the way it was, the contractor didn't want to contract with something that it might back off 4 months and the price of aluminum go up sky high, you know. We'll just have to add that back by change order if we have the money.
so what if we don't have the money, we still have seats, but they're not as nice, or
They're
what's?
the seats that are there now.
Okay, so we can
And
still
that's just-
operate. Yeah, that later.
I mean, they're working fine. They're just bent in places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other questions on the Toad Vine contract? We have a motion and a second to approve the Toad Vine contract on contingency of Mr. Hall's approval. Vote, please.
All ayes.
Motion carries.
Now we go to the construction manager, Providence Builders, and Kyle Jones is here. He's your project manager for them. So I'm asking. I think you've reviewed this one.
I have, yes, sir.
I'm asking for your approval for their contract. We had one contract for on the hill. This is for down below. And the reason it's taking so long to get that, we needed Toad Vine's number before he could give a guaranteed maximum price.
Mr. Hall, you reviewed it and you're okay with it?
Yes, and board members, just let me be clear. If you will recall, we've approved the construction manager contract previously, and what this amendment does is establishes the guaranteed maximum price. So that's why you only have about 7 pages here versus the 35 pages that we had before. One question I had gotten previously is, where are the liquidated damages in this contract? Well, they're in the main contract, and those apply just like they do to everything else. And it's I think it's $100 a day. But all of those provisions you all have previously approved when we approved the construction manager. This just establishes that guaranteed maximum profit.
To approve.
We have a motion and a second to approve the guaranteed maximum price amendment. Do we have any other discussion? Vote, please. All ayes. Motion carries.
This may not be on your agenda, so I may not even need to bring it up, but if so, just tell me and I'll be quiet. Right now in contingency funds on all these projects, I kind of want to go over those. Stuart Burns Elementary, you got $45,000 left. White Bluff Elementary School, 65. Dickson High School, 120. And the athletic fields, which is the contract you just approved. That's a $7 million job, and we've only got $154,000 contingency for that project. What I'd like for you all to think about, just think about this. You've got contingency money set up in different projects. At some point, it would be great to pull it when we find out we've finished the other ones or we have plenty of money, that we might pull those together for sports facilities. Just for a thought. I know you'd have to vote to move one from one to the other, but just be thinking about that, because you're going to have some money left in some of them that you could use. I think we're good everywhere, but it kind of scares me on a job as big as that, not to have any more contingency than that.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank
All right.
you.
Thank you.
Can we move money? We'll move it to the 177. Can we move it out of something? Or anything that goes from major line item to major line item would have to be moved to a vote to the county commission to move it in the form?
Yes.
Okay.
So it does have to go to the county commission.
Did Valerie, I think I saw her shake her head. Yes, it would.
Yes.
Thank you. Next, we'll move to human resources.
Good evening. So the regular reports are on there that we normally always have. So, no vision. The human resources report for the current month, the exit employee report that is for the entire school year from last July until this June, then the one from last month, and then also we have the job description for the technology director with the changes that were asked for last at the planning session. Are there any questions?
I would like to recognize Miss Deborah Harrell, school nutrition worker at Dickson Elementary School. She is retiring with 32 years. I would like to thank her for her dedication to public education. Thank you. I am asking for approval on the Director of Technology, the salary grade from a 55 classified to keep it for a classified and or certified, so that it will open up opportunities for individuals who are seeking employment in this category.
Just so we're clear, I'm looking at two of them. Are they one's highlighted, one ain't? Is that the only
The
difference?
highlights are the changes. Yes, sir.
So the one that is there that's not highlighted is the original.
Yeah, well, it should only have 55 classified on the one that does not have the yellow highlight. And the yellow highlight is what we would like to change. I would like to give the opportunity to either a classified or certified who fit the job description.
Go ahead. You go ahead. I'm sorry. So how does that work from a pay if they're classified?
If they're
They won't make as much as if
classified,
they have a certificate.
they would not, but it would cause me to maybe have to change the job description if I don't find someone that has a degree that could fill the qualifications in the administrative experience, background, and experience with instruction and administrative technology.
Still,
I still have the same concern that I had during our planning session, is that we would be paying a classified person potentially much less than we would be paying a certified person. I feel like it's the position that we need to be hiring, and so we need to either create some type of establish a range of what we're willing to pay this individual and pay that whether they are certified or classified, because I don't agree with, I guess, the way that that's going about, because that classified person could potentially be making much less doing the exact same thing as what we're willing to pay a certified person. So I just feel like it needs more work. Not that the job description is not appropriate, but our salary grade, the way that we're handling the payment, is not a good way to handle this position.
Yes. On this position, it really should have been a certified position from the inception of this job description from the beginning, with all of its qualifications, because it would be hard not to have degrees to fit these criterion. We were very fortunate to have Ben that came in to this, but there are no Bens out there, unfortunately, that would, for me, meet these qualifications. So I agree. We can look at the pay scale in the future, and if that's what I'm being asked to look at, the pay scale for this job role. And for others, I mean, there's others that fall into this category, and we are going to be looking at that moving forward.
So when it says certified, what does that mean? Degrees or
Certified.
teaching degrees?
Experience. It could be certificates of learning for the, there's a specific learning qualification on a tech job that we need, that is all encompassing. They need to have experience with grant writing that would work with Dr. Collins, having the experience in managing a team. I would love to have someone that had the lens possibly of instructional knowledge, due to the fact that this is an educational organization. Knowing what to do if something runs across my screen that says you've been hacked, having that knowledge and training. So certificates, possibly, yes.
Ms. Brogdon.
Yes.
To answer your question, Ms. Lamprey, certified has a license. And
In
that's
something.
a teaching license.
But is it teaching or is it?
Teachers and I believe our nurses have license. They're certified. Our bus drivers have license too, and they're on the very bottom of our pay scale. Classified is not a licensed teacher, and certified is a licensed teacher. So that licensed teacher pays on that pay scale with the bachelor's, the master's, the doctorate degrees, and the 30-year. The classified pays on the 25. This is the great big old matrix because we have so many more different positions. But classified employee versus certified employee. A certified employee has a license.
I think that's what I'm trying to
I'm
do.
right.
It's a
Maybe
license. It doesn't have to be a
certificate.
teacher's license. It is a license, though. I wouldn't specifically have to have a teacher in that role.
But isn't that what this is saying, is that if we make this a certified position, that, or, I mean, I understand this is classified or certified based on what's being presented, but this certified scale is a teacher. It's not that they're
a classified or a certified, and the certified would have to have credentials. They could have a degree in technology. They could have a degree in, if I had a teacher that fit these requirements, but it would be on a scale. If I found someone classified, so the scale would range from whatever experience they would have to a certified person. Right now, I can only hire classified, and I'm not getting the experience that I need in leading a team to fit this pay scale.
I think where I'm struggling is that as a classified and with this range of responsibilities and experience, there's a good likelihood this person has a degree in technology that has all this experience. So we hire that individual, but with our current structure, we can't pay them.
That's right.
So all we're really trying to do is pay them what they're worth.
Right.
But to do that by saying certified gets you in here at this pay, and maybe you don't have all these other. Does that make sense? We really are setting ourselves up to hire the less qualified and pay more than hiring who we know is super qualified, but we can't pay you as much.
Right.
So it doesn't seem like that's an ultimate great solution, because I don't want to be here paying more for less. And that's what may happen. If that's the only candidate we get, then we've kind of given you no choice but to pay more for less. So I still don't think I have a clear understanding of what is available to us to say, we want this person and we're willing to pay more than the classified schedule. How do we add to it without saying, or take a certified that's less experienced and pay them more? Does that make sense? I can't get a solution that I think is equitable in the long term. So what's available to us to pay more without going certified?
The folks. Yeah. I mean, everyone that applied for this job.
Is stipend's the only other way you can do it?
I could
Is
do the
that-
stipend.
I think that's her question. What
We can
option
do
do we
the
have
stipend.
other than classified and certified?
But is Valerie back there? I'm sorry, I couldn't see you. What would be, let's talk about giving someone a stipend over adding that into their salary.
Even a stipend is typically just a once-a-year payment, so I think what you're meaning is maybe a supplement that would have their salary for the year. Just the hard part about that is our supplement schedule is on our website now, and so supplement
salary consistent across the board. Some were moved to a certified scale because they have a
Would that be the same for you with an accounting degree? I mean, would that move you to the, and maybe you are, I don't know which.
we're hoping exactly.
Well, I'm just gonna say, if you're going, to me, the picking and choosing,
I
it
think we
needs to
have
be
do
done the
across
same,
board.
yes.
But here, I'm in this situation needing a tech director.
But
And that's why it's been brought to the surface.
But I think we'd asked, and it seemed like of the ones you interviewed, they weren't certified. Seems like we talked about that. That this, of the ones you had interviewed and we're looking at so far, this would not have given you the ability to hire them as a certified because they weren't.
They were certified.
Okay, I was thinking
I'm not going to be able to. They are costing me more than what I could pay them on this job description because it stops at a classified 55 level.
So some of the ones you interviewed would be certified.
Certified.
They were, but you interviewed
They have
already.
a degree in technology
Okay.
and experience.
Mm-hmm. So can we define what degree? Like you said, for nursing, they have to have the nursing. So can this not be just certified, but certified in technology?
Yes. We could put stricter parameters around it.
I'm almost positive that if you are certified, it is wrote that you have to have a license. The only way to change that is for us to change our pay scale some way, shape, form, or fashion. But I want to say this to Ms. Lanford, because you were kind of had the questions about it. This problem that we're facing right now, I'm not doubting that it's a problem. I'm not saying that it's not an underpaid job for what it is. I'm just telling you that when our transportation director leaves, we're going to have the same problem. When our maintenance director leaves, we're going to have the same problem. When our finance director leaves, we will have the same problem because they are bound to a classified pay scale. Does that pay scale need to change? Yes. And I mean, we're in the situation because being left, and so here we are. But that pay scale for a non-licensed employee on the classified pay scale, as a director, and I'm not saying not a superintendent, but as a director over that department, we as a board to fix this problem, not tonight, but in the future, have to come up with some sort of a administration central office /central office pay scale for our administration and our directors over departments. And that job, I mean, this is just a number. I know the top of that pay scale, I think, is 85, but we can say that job pays 100,000. I'm just throwing a number out there. I don't know if it's worth it or not, but just let's call it 100,000 for easy figuring. And when you accept that job, then you make $100,000 to do the director of fill in the blank. Doesn't matter if you're classified, doesn't matter if you're certified, doesn't matter if you have a license. We're going to hire you to do this job on this pay scale, on this director's matrix. This is probably going to be like a 5 to 7 year matrix in my head, a shorter matrix, and you can start over at year 1 as a director, and you can move in 5 to 7 years down, because most people end up in those head director of X later on in their career. They usually don't hit it when they're 20 years old. So later on in their career, so you got 5 to 7 years to max out on a different matrix. Instead of currently what we do, if you had a certified employee right now, if they were at the bottom of their years, so let's just say 25, 27 year pay scale, say they had a doctorate degree, So they're on the third tier, the fourth tier of that pay scale. When they go to a director's job, it's a 33.5% increase on wherever they're at in that thing. If we move it to a certified pay scale, you don't know how much you're going to pay them. If they move from inside this system, they're already in this certified matrix. They're going to move to here. If we move outside of this system and hire an outside person, then we're going to give them their year's experience. Maybe they have a doctorate degree. Now they're over here. We really don't know what that job is going to pay. What is it worth? We had a certified person is going to come in and do it. It's just say they had 25 years and we give them the bottom of the pay scale. On pays $85,000. But if you got 20 years in with a license and a doctorate degree, it doesn't matter what doctorate degree is in, by the way. It can be in anything. And now you're here. Your pay scale is like this to do the same job. We as a board have got to get together and fix our administration / central office / director of X pay scale so that that job is worth this. Now, take a job that has to do with instruction, our elementary and our secondary directors. Yes, we can put in any of the job description that we want to make sure that whoever gets that job has a master's degree, or we can put that in our student services, or we can put that in the job description, say we want them to be a principal for 5 years. We can put whatever you want in the job description to fill that position on the type of person you want, but that position pays X. If that makes sense. That's my goal for the future of our pay scale. It doesn't help us right now, by the way.
But do we have, like, is it in policy? Where is our definition of certified? Is it a license? Is it any degree, bachelor, under? It's to me, that's what this moment hinges on. Is
That might be a
Miss
Ms. Hall question, I would say.
Policy on it, but we pay permitted certified even though they don't have a teaching license. And then we pay the teachers as well. We don't have a license.
So certified is someone with a teaching license. So that's our certified scale. Classified is someone who's not, does not have a degree for the job.
So license and degree, are you using those interchangeably?
Certified is someone who has a certified or is certified to teach.
Okay. So again, this position could have a degree in technology, but not a teaching license. So they would not be qualified if it was certified.
Correct.
Right. So I think, does that make sense? That's where I'm stuck. We're saying let's move to something that does not let us hire.
Is
Who's in
there a
this job
legal
description?
definition of certified?
Not in the law, but in our practice, in the way we have always done it, and the way our policies read, what Ms. Lampley just articulated is correct. You have, and what Mr. Parker said, you have to have a teaching license or a licensed nurse to be on the certified scale.
So I'm struggling.
Yeah.
I understand our challenge that we have to address.
Okay.
We can't necessarily get this person for this money. And I can't find comfort with going the certified route because that closes out the people we really want as far as experience and knowledge. So that's what I'm saying. Do we have at our disposal in this moment any other option since we've gone the route of trying to hire someone for this?
I agree with Mr. Parker. I think we've got to work on something that gives us movement. Because in this position, I don't necessarily need a teacher. I need someone experienced in technology with technology license and training.
Is this something that Valerie and Ms. Hall could work on this supplement, or so that we could come back next month with something that we might, that everyone might feel comfortable about changing?
I think so. But again, I think I agree with Mr. Parker. We need to address this moving forward with everyone on this. It's just going to take time. Right now, I'm in the midst of needing this position filled. Yeah.
Just to stand corrected, there is a state board rule 0520-01-02-.02 that says salary schedules. The state board shall adopt a minimum salary schedule for all licensed personnel, which shall apply to every LEA. And so that's where we get this. We've got to get to that minimum 50,000 number for licensed teachers, and that's where the license versus degree issue comes in. And the state board has said, or the State Department of Education has said, that if you have a license in your job, then you're eligible for this licensed salary schedule, which is why the nurses get it.
Mr.
Ms.
Chadwick.
Hall, are there any vacant positions left? Are all positions filled that we need?
No, sir, they're not, but we are very close. We're very close. We need more specialists. Our last meeting. Assistants. I don't have the exact number, but if we are in a good spot, start.
Need. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to move on to transportation surplus items.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the surplus items in transportation. Do we have any other discussion? Vote, please. All ayes. Motion carries. Next, we have under student services, field trips.
Madam Chair, members of the board, Creekwood will be headed to Sevierville for a volleyball tournament. And that is coming up next month. And also Creekwood will head to the Smoky Mountain Cup soccer tournament in September. Along with Dickson County High School cross country meet in Gulf Shores, Alabama, September the 26th through the 28th. And William James Middle School, UCA Space Center Regional Competition in Huntsville, Alabama for cheer. And I ask that you approve all of these field trips that are out of town.
Move to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the out-of-town field trips. Any other questions or discussion? Vote, please.
All ayes.
Motion carries. Next, we have DHA member.
Talked about this list at the planning session. Just it's the list that was exactly the way it was last year, minus a married name change and the CTE director, but it's the same as it was last year. Just looking for approval so we can move on with our DHAs.
Is that the way Miss Steele spells her name? Sherry?
It's Cheryl. It should be Sheryl. It's not Sherry. It's Cheryl.
Just a typo right there. That's like,
Would you like to be on our DHA?
I couldn't figure out which one was on there.
Hey, it's all kinds of fun if you want to come by.
If it has a DR in front of it, it would not.
Well, I knew it. Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the list of DHA members. Any other discussion? Vote, please.
All ayes.
Motion carries. Next, we have mental health.
Okay, we have with us tonight the famous dog Nico. We watched a video last time, but we get to see him in person this time. I won't go back over all the statistics on this mental health numbers that we shared in the planning session, but I think you guys remember our discussions. And Mr. Loach is here with famous Nico, so I'm going to let her take over the mic if you got any questions.
Good evening. How are y'all?
Good evening.
I'm Angie DeLoach. I'm a student support specialist with Dickson County Schools. And I do have some folders for you guys, if that's okay. Yeah. In these folders, you'll find just some history about pet therapy and the benefits of it. In my role, I do work with a lot of students who have gone through a lot of trauma. They're experiencing crisis at the school. And so I think they'd be a great benefit to have Nico there in those situations to provide some emotional support. You'll also see like 4 recommendation letters in that folder from people who see Nico on a regular basis. He's been here for an hour and a half, so he's getting a little restless to go outside. But those recommendation letters are from his vet, his groomer, his trainer, and the nursing home we currently volunteer at, which is right back there, Dickson Health and Rehab. So we currently have been going there for about 6 months. And so I just hope to be able to bring him to the schools. He's insured, he's certified. There's lots of different ways to get dogs certified. And we went, my trainer and I went through the CGC process, which means Canine Good Citizen. And so he went through about 6 months of training, a little over $2,500 of my own money, and time spent doing this to bring it to Dickson County students. Do you guys have any questions?
Are we looking for approval for this?
Yes, sir.
I guess the only question I got would be that it would follow everything that Mia follows.
Yes, that's correct.
And if it's going to follow everything that Mia follows and it's going to go through a training at some point when the dog gets old, will the training uncertify her at some point if she got to go through a training, I guess, to say that at some point it can say like, okay, it's not doing good at some point. Does it do a yearly update or something? Is that
it doesn't do a yearly he won't go through a yearly update, but as a handler, it's our responsibility when we're keeping them insured. Like even through the CGC training, I was taught as a handler, anytime before I take him into a public space, I go through his whole body. I check his ears, his tail, his paws, because if he's going to react in a way, I wouldn't want to take him because there would be something wrong. So it's our responsibility as a handler to do that and to also keep insurance on the dog as well.
I think as long as it's following everything that Mia follows, I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve Nico. Any other discussion? Vote, please.
I'm just holding suspense.
All ayes.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
We're excited that Nico's going to be a part of our family and supporting students. So we're excited about that. We will be making replicas like baseball cards to get out with Mia and Nico. So stay tuned. We're going to hand those out. Thank you for your work. We appreciate it.
Next, we have facility use agreement, long-term rental facilities.
All right, we have been working, feverishly to get this packet together. And Mr. Hall has helped with the contracts. And in the back of the folder is the email that you got today, right, Mr. Hall? With this, the policy. And he's got that in the back. I just added that in case you hadn't had a chance to look at your email this afternoon. The agreements on the long-term facilities, we found everyone that was using our facilities more than 5 times. I know that 2 weeks ago we had an interesting meeting, but I want to share with you that everything that we shared with them as far as what to do and the prices and all that, they were very happy to hear what was agreed upon. So I want to at least share that information at this time. The Y contract, while we're at it, we kind of do things for them, they do things for us. So the agreement there and the price you see is, it was just agreed upon that we help them, they help us. The Wave Effect, YMCA, the White Bluff Bombers, Charlotte Junior Pro Lions, is that right? Lions. South Dickson Basketball League, North Dickson Basketball Charlotte, North Dickson Basketball White Bluff. Lions.
Could you go over what we spoke about with cleaning of the facilities?
Yeah, to make sure we were doing the same for every organization. What we asked them to do, most of these people have been doing their own cleaning, and there hasn't been any complaining. So as what we told them, as long as the principal at the school they're using or whatever didn't complain, as long as they were keeping up and cleaning up and taking care of the property the way they found it, when they leave, then we would not ask them to get our janitorial services involved.
And none of them have like the personnel fee. So what are we working out on that as far as school staff?
Field or building usage.
But are they having a staff member present while they're in the building? We're just not billing for that and not paying a staff member for that?
Yes, most of the organizations have someone that's in education that's has been helping them forever. And these are the things that we are talking about now.
And we moved to not being a member of the school, but being a employee of the district. Yes. So
They don't have to be necessarily
they don't have to.
at Dickson County High School. If they're using Dickson County High School, if they're an employee at Centennial, they can still help out.
I think the other thing I just want to talk about was the statement in the contract under supervision. A responsible person signing this agreement must be present for the duration of the event. I don't think it interferes with their usage, but obviously that one signer cannot be at every event for the duration.
Correct.
So how do we want to proceed to just capture? Because I think I know some of the ones I'm familiar with at practices, you just have all your random coaches.
Right.
So even at the point of signing it, you may not yet even know who all the personnel are. So I don't know what we think, how we want to handle that.
Right there. I guess I would look to Mr. Hall to talk about that a little bit. And if there's some other further discussions that we need to have, me and Dr. Sutherland can meet as well. But what do you guys, Mr. Hall, what would you recommend?
Well, I think we had talked about that, and I thought the solution to that was going to be making sure we had a representative of the organization that is using the facility is always there, and that whoever those designated people would be would also join the agreement with these other people. Ms. Lampley makes a good point too, though, that they might not be legally obligated to do that for that organization. I think we could deal with that on an amendment basis, on a case-by-case basis. I think we could just deal with an amendment that would handle that with the board's approval. But I do think it's important from a contractual legal responsibility that some representative of the organization that's using our facility be present. I mean, if they, and they can empower somebody in their organization to be that responsible party and sign on the line, but from a legal liability standpoint, I'd rather have 6 people sign, because those are the 6 people that are going to cover all those practices, rather than just one sign and we say, well, that's okay.
You'd recommend that we bring these people in and sign here, or
we could just send them the signature page to sign. No, they wouldn't have to come in to sign.
Okay.
And the organization can tell us who they want to sign and return that back to us. I don't think that's a problem.
Have any other questions?
What would we be voting on? Are we voting on 3.206 at this point, or are we just voting on these?
We're voting on approving the
All of
facility,
these.
yes, the lease agreement.
So can I make a motion to approve the submitted agreements with the understanding that we're allowing, they would like to submit additional names to be on site?
Yeah.
If their one person can cover it all, we're not saying you have to get more, but if they feel like there's going to actually be others, we allow them to submit that. So that would be my motion.
Can you say it again, Ms. Lamprey? I'm sorry. I was reading and wasn't half paying attention, to be honest with you. And it was.
I
Go
would
ahead.
move that we accept these contracts as presented in the packet with an allowance for these organizations if the single signer cannot commit to being at every event during the duration. They can submit a list of names to attach to the contract of who that representation will be.
And are you?
Can I just maybe suggest a tweak to that? Rather than just submitting a list of names, those designated people would sign the contract as well. Yeah.
All of them. Is that your motion has all of them embedded in there?
Were you wanting to vote singly? I jumped the gun.
No.
I guess I'm not trying to answer that question. Last time, Ms. Lampley, you talked about wave effect and the brochure and the promotion and those types of things. And we said, I don't know, some of us said that wasn't what we were approving. We were only approving that we would allow the use of the facility to do this, but not do those additional types of special promotions where we use the school mascot name and those types of things. I just want to make sure that that's what we're still continuing to think, I guess, Mr. Hall or someone, if that's what we would, how we would be voting on this.
The board's voting on this facilities use agreement contract with the waive effect and all those other people, not any other, just the contract between the parties that's attached, not any other extraneous materials in the packet, just the contract. And the terms of the contract as it exists right here.
I don't know. To answer your question, Ms. Lamprey, I'm. It is what it is. I'm not for the wave effect, and the reason I'm not is I think it interferes with junior pro. Does it interfere with the basketball season? No. Does it interfere with football season? It does. And I'm an advocate for junior pro. I'm an advocate for everybody. I mean, these facilities have, and every one of these I've talked to, I don't know, go back and they all have open finance books, and they can all show us if we wanted to, where they've always dedicated their extra money back to our facilities, to the facilities that they're coaching and running these leagues to help the children of Dickson and the facilities of Dickson, and some of these gentlemen that were sitting there, they done went through their kids and they're going through their grandkids now. They've always dedicated their money back to us, to the district for upgrades. And yeah, people on the north are going to donate their money to Creekwood, and people in the south are going to donate their money to Dickson because that's where their children are, and they want their children to have these nice facilities. It sounds bad. I don't mean to. I'm a big advocate for all kind of different ministries like that. And I'm not saying that children in Africa don't need the money to get started and everything, but we're using Dickson County facilities, Dickson County taxpayers, and they give their money back here, where Wave Effect is going to send a lot of money to Africa, and that's some of my concern. Not that they don't need it, but this is Dickson County taxpayer facilities that come there. So I don't even know if that's something that we can vote on or not. I just thought I'd speak my truth on that. Maybe Ms. Brogdon can shine some light on it. You can say you either want them all or none, and that's fine too. I'll do whatever you say.
I think your motion is to vote on all of them, correct?
Yeah.
So we just need a second for Ms. Lampley's motion.
Right.
So we have a first and a second to approve them as presented with the allowance to add signers to the contract if one person cannot be at all the events. Any other discussion? Vote, please.
Ms. Brogdon, yes. Mr. Chadwick, yes. Ms. Lampley, yes. Mr. Parker, yes. Ms. Thiel, no. Motion carries.
Part 5, is that what you're ready for?
Yes.
The new state law is that we do a call if there's been a credible threat. This board and in our board meetings every quarter, we'll have to talk about the number that we've had per quarter. This was more than just a heads up. That we talked about this a little bit in the planning session, but just so you guys know that once a quarter, we'll be giving you the information for the quarter. I talked about that in the session, so that's all.
Thank you, Mr. Holly.
Is there any questions?
Thank you. Next, we'll move to policies.
See the policies on second read. None of those have been changed since the planning session, but you can discuss any of those you would like to.
Do we have any questions on the second read policies?
We make a motion that we accept, you want me to read off the numbers, all of second read in one group and for approval.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second to approve the second read policies 1.901, 1.903, 1.905, 1.906, 2.403, 4.212, and 6.500. Any other discussion? Vote, please.
All ayes.
Motion carries. Next, we'll move to first read policies.
1.700 school district goals. These changes, as we discussed at the planning session, came as a result of Ms. Lampley working with TSBA around some language in this policy. Nothing has been changed since the planning session.
Ms. Steele?
Since we've had time to process this, some thoughts. Under line 13, it says to promote the recognition of achievement. I think that's talking about the student growth and their success, not staff performance. I understand that this is the standard that TSBA has presented, but I would like to suggest that number 4 move down and be number 5 under students, because it is the students that we're recognizing and not the teachers. You all may think otherwise, but just that was my thinking on that. Can you give me?
No, that makes sense that it might go under students instead of instruction. Mm-hmm. We don't typically recognize individual teachers. I mean, unless they're level 5 and they agree to be recognized. We did that last year if they agreed to be recognized, because their individual scores are private and confidential. But if they want to be recognized and agree to be, then we do that. But typically individual teacher data is protected.
That's what I thought.
So yes, we can move number 4 that's currently under instruction to number 5 under students, if you all are in agreement with that.
Any other questions on school district goals?
I do.
Ms.
Yeah,
Steele?
we do them all. On the second page, under line number 2, where it says to provide in-service training and professional growth for teachers and administrators, I was just wondering if that shouldn't be all staff, because I know we do have trainings for all of our staff.
We've seen the plans for Tuesday, which is a staff development day, and they're very purposeful plans for our special ed assistants and our bus drivers and the staff who are not listed here. So I agree with you. Mm-hmm.
And then my next comment was down on line 11 that has been added moved from the front page to the back page. I was wondering after that, where we say the board shall annually review these goals and revise them as necessary, that we also add the board shall receive no less than quarterly updates on the progress toward achieving these goals. The reason that I thought that was important to add is because we don't want to wait to the end of the year to determine that our goals are not what we need to be working on, or that we might need to refocus some things as a school board. So that's why I thought if we got updates, I mean, we're already getting updates, but
Can you state that?
yes, I can.
Thank you.
At the end of that sentence, we would say the board shall receive no less than quarterly. I mean, it's fine if it's quarterly or whatever, but I was saying the board shall receive no less than quarterly updates on the progress toward achieving these goals, period.
So would it make sense to bring this back in September as a first read with these changes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for taking my
Yes.
feedback.
Just move on.
Wait, Ms. Lampley.
Can I just revisit the line 13?
Yes, ma'am.
Just for your consideration. I'm not trying to split hairs. To me, that sentence is not saying we will recognize students. It's saying we will encourage our instructors to recognize students. And that's why it's in that section. It's saying we're going to
those words, because I mean, I'm happy if we add those words, but it's just when I look at to promote the recognition of achievements, we're under instruction. Therefore, I thought we were referencing the teacher recognition. But I'm happy to add the words that you said so that
we could add the word student. That's whose endeavors I think it's saying. Under instruction, we're promoting the recognition of our students. So we're telling our instructors, you need to be recognizing your students. So those endeavors are all student endeavors, such as academic and athletic. Does that make sense? Those wouldn't be wouldn't be teacher
I
endeavors.
just don't, yes. I mean, I'm fine with that as long as we understand that it's not the teachers, because I think it is the students. And I know it does have an IE, academics, athletics. And I see often on Facebook where teachers are recognizing their students for what they're doing. I just read this differently, but I hear what you're stating, and I can go along with that as well.
So can we add that word, though?
So we're going to add
To promote the recognition of student achievement in all endeavors.
and keep it where it is.
That'd be fine.
We need to vote to table it or just move on to the next one with no action?
Move on to the
Okay.
next act.
The next policy is 3.206, community use of school facilities. Mr. Hall worked on the revisions to this to make it aligned with what you all have voted on for long-term use of the facilities.
Parker? You haven't read the changes, correct,
The
Mr. Hall?
changes are in red in the packet, or I think it's in DOE Connect as well, so.
Yeah, it's there. I'd rather wait, do this on first read next month with more perform.
Moving on, Ms. Brogdon.
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe.
5.105 with the recruitment of employees. I think Ms. Lampley reviewed this with TSBA and this, we're removing language that is related to DEI since it was passed that we don't consider those things for hiring employees any longer.
Any questions on recruitment of employees policy?
Move to approve.
Second.
Have a motion to approve in a second for policy 5.105, recruitment of employees. On first read. Any other discussion? Vote, please.
All ayes.
Motion carries. Next, we have 5.3051.
This is related to paid parental leave. No changes have been made since the planning session.
Move to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve first read for policy 5.3051, paid parental leave. Any other discussion? Vote, please.
All ayes.
Motion carries.
6.303, interrogations and searches. You can see the proposed new policy in VOA Connect. No changes have been made since the planning session, but just as a reminder, the primary change made from our current policy to the proposed policy you're seeing is related to a requirement that the state now has that any administrator who conducts a search of a student must have gone through the training that the Tennessee Department of Education provided to school districts. As a reminder, we received that training a few days before the school year began in July. Mr. Hawley worked to make sure all of our school administrators and our central office staff went through that training so that when they needed to conduct a search, or if we were called upon to conduct a search, then we have received that training.
Move to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve on first read policy 6.303. Any other discussion? Vote, please.
All ayes.
Motion carries.
6.309, zero tolerance offenses. The primary change between our current policy and what you have before you is that under state law now, for a threat of mass violence to be a zero tolerance offense, it must be be deemed a credible threat by the threat assessment team at that school. Other changes between our current policy and what you see are formatting issues, but that is the primary significant change is dealing with threats of mass violence and whether they fall under a zero tolerance offense or not. Yes, ma'am.
Can you, under like line 15, it says that, and line 16, the director of schools can modify this. There's no mention in this about DHA. I thought that any of these zero tolerance offenses went before that committee.
They do.
But we don't reference that in this policy that I see. And so I'm just wondering if the policy should not reference that in some way.
I don't know if it's implied in line 17 through 19, since it says that they may be assigned to an alternative school. And in our processes, you can't be assigned to the alternative school without going before DHA. I know in some school districts that can happen. You can go straight to an alternative school without a hearing. And that's not here. We have a hearing for any student who is assigned to alternative school.
The five,
Yeah.
the 5 items, where it says this is zero tolerance, it specifically states that the director of schools can modify that. It doesn't say, that after DHA or before DHA, but that she can modify, since that's our director, I'm referencing her as a she.
Yes.
So that's just still unclear to me.
You have a suggested language?
I don't have.
Okay.
I guess my question is to Mr. Hall. If
Yeah, we can put some language in there.
that's just our practice.
Yeah, we'll put some language in there. We'll bring it back on first read next month with the language in there that will encapsulate our practice.
Thank you, sir.
And last, alternative education 6.318. This was just updated to match what is already in policy 6.316 about transportation.
Move to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve first read of 6.318. Any other discussion? Vote, please.
All ayes.
Motion carries. Thank you. Next, we have director's report.
Well, I hope everyone has had a great week. We have, because today we get to tell we are a level 5 school district in growth. And so we are so excited, but I like to look at data. And so I want to share some other things. We are a level 5 in science, a level 5 in social studies, 3 level 5 schools, Centennial, Burns Middle, Stuart Burns Elementary. Centennial was a level 5 in every single category. These schools showed improvements from 23 to 24, to 24 to 25. So Charlotte Middle went from a 1 to a 4, and Dickson County High School went from a 1 to a 3. So that is the epitome of getting better at getting better. And we celebrated all of them today with a cake. And so proud of everyone's effort. One of my favorite coaches for Alabama, Nick Saban, states,
he's a good one.
He says there's no
He learned everything in you from LSU.
I think that's made up. He says there's no I in team, but there is an I in win, and it takes everyone's talent to get there. Every person has their talent that gets us to the win. And so I am so proud of all the teachers, all the staff members, all the students, this leadership team. You as a board, it takes it all for the win. And I am so proud of our district, because growth is what you did from year to year. And we are put against 144 districts across the state. So congratulations to our schools and our students and my staff and the work that they do each and every day, and to you. And so with that, I have a gift. We are leading, teaching, and learning together. And so, before we leave tonight, I would like for us to have a picture with our hats on.
Oh gosh, I had my sunburns.
So I'm going to put mine on as I finish reading this. I have to turn my, because this is what it's all about. District-wide highlights. 8th grade, ELA, 25th best district growth in the state, top 20%. 5th grade science, 21st best district growth score in the state, top 15%. 8th grade science, 21st best district growth score in the state, top 15%. 7th grade social studies, 20th best district score in the state. That means we're in the top 15. 4th grade math, 16th best district growth score in the state, top 12. 7th grade math, 9th best district growth score in the state, top 7% of districts. English 1, 6th best district growth score in the state, top 5%. Woo! So when I think about success, my first ring from Charlotte Middle School. And so I let them know I had 9 more fingers. And so I would gladly accept this. Sits at the back of my desk when I walk in. So I would like to share that with you. And if you haven't seen the post, a great write-up of the sports complex, I'd like to share that with you. I would like for you all to sign it because we are going to frame that for our office here. We've been busy, and I'll get a permanent marker. Do you think I need a permanent marker? We'll sign it tonight, and we will frame it for this office.
Yes.
So I'm just excited, and we are a WOW. The WOW acronym is we are working on the work.
Yeah.
And we are going to continuously get better. We spoke to Creekwood today and Dickson Middle today. They shared their plans, and they shared their WIGs. So they had WIGs, which is a wildly important goal. And we're excited about what they're going to bring to the students that they serve. So excited. That's all I have, but excitement's in the air.
And you held all that excitement down to the end.
I know,
I did.
to the very end. I mean, I don't know
To the
how
end.
you held that in.
Well,
We
we've
need
been
to-
celebrating today.
We need to make sure that the Dickson Post writes an article about all of our achievements.
That's
And
right. I agree. And we have, would you introduce yourself from the Post?
Well, I'm Hi, Stevenson. And, congratulations.
Thank you.
Significant accomplishment.
And I'll make sure that I give you this piece of paper. Hey, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Next, we have comments by DCEA.
So we share in the wonderful accomplishments that the teachers and students are making in Dickson County. We're so excited, and it was nice to see Dr. Sutherland going to so many schools and giving cakes. I got a really nice piece of cake, so we're all very celebrating wonderful accomplishments. Speaking of accomplishments, there is a fantastic bill before the House and the Senate right now. It's HB 675 and Senate Bill 415. It's been introduced. It's bipartisan by Cochran and Lowe. And it's called the Freedom to Teach Bill. And that's something we are watching very closely because it would pretty much revolutionize the way that we currently do testing and evaluations in the state of Tennessee. If this bill passes, students in grades 3 through 8 would still test in ELA and math, but they would take grade span tests in science and social studies. So essentially what it's doing is reducing the amount of testing that students and teachers would be required to do. So science would be tested once in elementary, middle, and high school. And end of course tests in high school would be eliminated, except for math and English in the 9th grade. And that would move the ACT to being required at both 10th and 11th grade. So those would be replacing the other content level end of course tests. And we believe as an association that this is a great win because it would eliminate excessive testing. Teachers are not anti-accountability at all. It's just that we're inundated with so much testing and kids are inundated with so much testing. So to finally have a bill that recognizes that is a wonderful opportunity for all of us stakeholders. RTI screenings, according to this bill, would be required only for at-risk students instead of all students grades 4 through 8. We also think that that is a win. Teacher evaluation and tenure, this is a big one. Educators and principals who score a 5, an LOE, would only be evaluated every 3 years as opposed to every year. So that's a win for administrators who are no longer having to do so many evaluations. Those who are 4 would be evaluated every 2 years. And tenure would then be determined by your most recent scores rather than the current requirement of consecutive test scores. So these have been referred to the Senate Education Committee, and it's going to go for a roll call vote in December. So the TA and the DCA are encouraging all stakeholders, educators, community members, parents alike to contact the State Board of Education and our immense support. And to show DCA's support and to educate our community, we are holding a listening session. It'll be on September the 16th. It's open to the public at Dickson Middle School at 4:00 to talk about freedom to teach and all of the many layers of freedom to teach and how this could really be a positive thing for teachers across the state and administrators and students all across the state. So just wanted to bring that to your attention and let you know that that is the thing that has got us excited and would love to see you at the listening session on the 16th.
Thank you, Perry.
Next, we have comments by board members.
Thank you for the hat.
You're welcome.
I like it.
You're welcome.
And
Remember, we're getting the
congratulations.
Congratulations to everyone.
From time to time, I hear things, so education is going downhill. I've been a part of this county education system since 1968. And I think we've been doing some great things. I was a part of it for a while. And chose to do this to still be a part of it. I'm grateful.
Well, we're grateful for you and each member of the board and the perspectives that they bring. You know, you're only as good as the people you put yourself around, and we're glad to have you, Mr. Chadwick, and thank you for your service. Thank you for the zucchini bread too. We enjoyed it.
It's Robin.
As football season's rolling out, we're also excited about the new sports complex, but I've crossed paths with some seniors and some senior parents, and just made me stop and think about for those students, those football players, those cheerleaders, those band members, that amazing student section. For those that are seniors, it is a loss this year. And I want to recognize that and not forget that in our excitement. And I appreciate maybe, what they're giving back to their school system and what they've lost. I just wanted to recognize them for that.
I want to remind everyone of the district meeting September the 4th, which is next Thursday. Is that McEwen?
McEwen. I think it's high school. Let me look.
I think 4:30.
Is it 4:30?
I think the meeting starts at 5, but that's when the Aaron knows.
Yeah, it's high school.
It is.
To 7 p.m.
If you want to meet here, we can figure out the rides.
I'll be glad to drive.
We have a planning session for September the 11th and a regular board meeting on September the 25th. Do we want to add a planning session for just the long-term facility planning for September? Sure. What we need, Jess? The only one I know we can't is the 23rd because Mr. Haley has a conflict on September the 23rd, which is a Tuesday. Okay, so it looks like it's going to have to be the 18th. The 16th. She's going to be out of town.
I'm in Gatlinburg with the superintendent
for the 15th, 16th, and 17th. So we could do something the 18th or the 9th.
We could do the 8th and the 9th. Mr. Chadwick must have come 2 days in a row. You're the chair. You tell us when.
So y'all are good with any of those?
18th is better for me.
18th.
Still not great.
18th, okay?
I don't think
we're going to see each other every Thursday in September.
What do we do?
Facilities planning.
The 18th.
We don't need her.
It's my baby's birthday.
It's my grandbaby's birthday too.
Okay, then let's not do it that day.
Yeah.
You already wrote it in ink, Mr. Chadwick. Can we do it on that Tuesday? Should you do Tuesday?
Christy will be out of town the 16th
Okay,
at the superintendent meeting. 9th.
I can come back the 17th.
No. We can do the 18th, but you're gonna have a birthday party.
It's on Saturday. Or we could do the 30th.
Well, she said her baby. She missed Misty. It ain't a real baby.
Mine's a real baby.
Yeah, I know yours a real baby. She said her baby. She didn't miss me.
She's got a lot of babies.
Can you do the 30th, Robin?
We're going to change it to the 30th.
That a Saturday?
Not this time.
Do we? We don't.
Okay, and remember, we're going to get a picture, and then the board is going to go to an executive session in this room back here.